Hey everyone, welcome back to the Flames of War studio. Today I've got Phil and Wayne with me, and we're going to talk about the Armies of Late-War book that's due out this weekend. So, this here is the book. It's not actually the book, this is a printout of the book. Unfortunately, the copies coming to New Zealand have been lost by the couriers. So, we're waiting
Still haven't seen it.
Yeah, we've seen the print proofs, but we haven't seen the finished bound hardback book. But this is a pretty good one to look at anyway. So I thought maybe we'll start by letting Phil and Wayne tell us a little bit about what this book is actually about.
Okay, well, it's essentially an introduction to late war for players that are new to late war, or an easy way for players to upgrade into the new version 4 version of late war. It takes basically your old forces from version 3 and converts them over to version 4 for you. So if you're using an old version 3 book, you'll be using this rulebook with all the conversions in it. So it tells you what you do when you get, and the Warriors and Special Rules book.
Yep.
But it'll tell you what to do for your speed. Your tank is a standard speed. Oh look, that means this. Whereas this book here has converted it all over for you. So it's got unit cards which tell you your speed and all your stats and everything. Really simple.
So all the good things that we're seeing in mid-war brought into here.
Yeah.
Cool. What's actually inside the book? Can you give us a rundown of, say, the lists and whatever else we'll find in there?
Well, it covers the big four. So it's got German, American, British and Soviet stuff in it.
Yep.
And it's got basically a few tanks, a few different types of tank company and an infantry company for each plus support. So let's take a brief look through it. It looks pretty much like a mid-war book if you've seen one of our recent mid-war books.
Yep.
It's got a history section here. Then a little introduction to the Americans. Know your tanks, very useful if you're a beginner or just not quite unsure about a new country that you're getting into. Special rules, and then a forces diagram.
So this is the V4 force diagram.
Yep.
So what we would have seen in version 3 turned into version 4, right?
Yep. So just like in mid-war, it tells you you've got, in the American case, 4 types of companies available and a whole bunch of support.
So the benefit there, obviously, is it also makes it much easier if you're trying to build a multi-formation force.
Yep. Yep. And then each force. Now, this one's rather complicated because if you've looked at any of our recent Sherman companies, you'll know how messy the situation got with American Shermans towards the end of the war. So let's jump to
See, this is why,
easier one.
This is why I refuse to tell a Sherman an M4A3 from a M4A2 from an M4A1 because there's just too many of them.
Yep. So the Tank Destroyer Company are much more normal sort of organisation. It's only got 3 different varieties, or 2 different varieties here. So you've got an HQ, 2 compulsory platoons, another possible platoon, and a couple of scout sections. So it's pretty much exactly as what you got in any of our previous late war books. And it's got 2 varieties. You can either have an M10 or an M36.
Right.
And then you've just got your company HQ, here, and then M10 or M36 card choice, and then the security section. And note that there's 2 cards for this because, of course, it's got M20s and Jeeps.
Yes, one has armour, the other one doesn't.
Yep, one's got different speed from the other, different weapons and so forth. So this is your main card, tells you all about the details and so forth. So it's actually quite a complicated example. This one,
but the key is, so I don't have to figure it out myself.
Nope.
Right? So if I want to play...
Speed is just there in front of you with the card on the table.
Yep.
Stats, gun lines, armour, ratings, everything there. So after that we move on to the Germans, exactly the same thing. Know your tanks, force diagram. They've got a wider variety of support and a few more types of tank. And then, Tiger Tank Company, you've got Tiger tanks, or you're allowed King Tigers as well. And bingo. And
so throughout the book, there's a wide variety of stuff in there. We get the British, same thing there.
Yep.
See a rifle company there for the British.
Yep.
Then on
Soviet stuff. Know your tanks. Formation diagram and special rules. Now, after the Soviets, we get into some more generic-ish stuff. So we've got, if I can find it here, a basing guide.
Yep.
And then painting guides for each country.
So if you're a new player, or if this is your first time into Flames of War, you've at least got the basics to help you get your army painted on the table with this book.
Yep. And then just a few product guides so that if you've got this book and haven't yet got any tanks or anything, it tells you some quick and easy ways to get started.
There's the place to go. Nice. All right, so if I'm a veteran, should I even bother looking at this book?
Right. Well, depends on what you want to do with it. I mean, if you're looking at using it, if you think your army is generally a kind of a good example of a standard sort of army, and it'll probably be sorted out inside that book. If it's more unusual army, like I myself, I like Gebirgsjäger, so I'll probably be better off sticking with Fortress Italy to use my Gebirgsjäger. But if I had normal Grenadiers, I'd just go to this book rather than maybe Grey Wolf. Yeah.
I mean, my Desert Rat's slightly different. I can either stay with Overlord for the reluctant veteran force that I've always sort of used.
Yep.
I've just never upgraded to the later one when Bulge came out.
Yep.
Or rather than going to Bulge, I'd go straight to this one because it's a lot simpler. I get the cards and everything and don't have to do the new version.
Yeah, I do like that. I think the simplicity for me is the key.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been playing Flames of War since day one of version 1, and I just like the fact that at the moment I could go in here, turn to a German section and just start building a Grenadier force, not worry about redundant teams or any of the stuff that I guess I'd be
none of the
dealing with.
conversion factors.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's just simple.
Yeah.
So I guess that leads us on to unit cards. So we've got 4 packs of unit cards that have come out. I don't want to share them. So, I mean, it'll be hard to show you, but that's the spread of unit cards that comes in the German box. Yeah, that is a lot of cards.
There's the Americans.
There's multiples of things in it as well.
Yes, I think if
So, you set up the contents.
I think it was Casey actually,
Casey?
but yeah, it's designed around if you can field 3 of them in a formation, there should be 3 of them in here.
So a good
you can
example
have 1
of that
per platoon.
Here's your 3 M4 Sherman tank platoons.
Yep.
So if you're building your force by, I'm going to have that, and I'm going to have that, and I'm going to have that.
Yeah.
Cards, or if you want to put 1 with each unit on the table, or you can just keep 1 as a reference on the table, whichever you prefer. But
I do like that actually. When I'm playing a game, I love, because most of my unit card experience has been with Team Yankee recently, and I love having a unit card for each platoon. It helps me when I've got reserves. It helps me when I'm trying to work out where casualties have happened in terms of entire platoons. You know, I start out my game with a stack of cards, and then this unit's dead, so I'll get rid of that card, put it off to the side, and so on. So, yeah, I'm a huge fan of them. Plus, there's something to be said. If I'm going to a tournament or building an army, I need my force card, and then I need my handful of unit cards, and that's all I need to take for the weekend. It's as simple as that.
you can take the book if you want, but everything you need, I mean, just...
This is something you don't even need your force card.
No, that's true.
Yep.
Yep.
And
What's your major list?
Yeah, you're good.
if you haven't seen any of the unit cards before, the front of it is basically most of the playing information. On the back we've got the points here and the special rules. Now you'll note there's relatively few special rules because a lot of our special rules from the past are now incorporated in the stat changes.
Yep.
So here, for instance, the M4 Sherman Late has protected ammo. There's no special rule for it. It just says here, if you want to remount, instead of remounting on 4+, you remount on 3+.
Yep.
So the special rules are just the ones that don't affect the stats here.
That makes sense. One of the things I've seen a bit of discussion about on the forums and Facebook is that there now seems to be a lot of rule books.
Ah, yes.
So, I mean, we have a selection here in front of us. We've got the mid-war rulebook that came out, when was it? March this year. We've got the free rulebooks that we gave away to help people play with their V3 armies in version 4. And then we've got this one. That's
the reprint.
Yeah, the reprint that's in the new army deals that have come out for late war. It does look a little confusing on the table with so many books. What's the go?
Well, when we released version 4 back in March, to make it easy for people to tell which book they needed, we dated this book 1942 to 43. If you were playing mid-war, this is the book you wanted. If you were playing early or late war, this was the book you wanted. Now, this is really just a conversion rulebook. It's this rulebook here with conversion tables in it. So if you're using artillery, modify your bombardment stats like this. If you're moving, then there's a moving table in here which converts from, where is it?
Right, so that was a table you were talking about going, if you were a standard tank, this is now how fast you move.
And so here's your old movement stats and how fast you move. So this does all those sort of conversions, but otherwise the rules are pretty much identical. So now that people have got themselves established and that this book is fully version 4 compatible, what we've done, now I'll jump way back. When I say fully version 4 compatible, people get worried that it's not compatible with all of the V3 conversion stuff. It's version 4 compatible and completely also compatible with all your existing late war armies. It's 1,500 points, it's exactly the same. We haven't changed anything. Essentially, we've just taken your army out of the old books, modified it for you instead of having to use this, and written it down. So anyway, these two books then are essentially the same. So this is the rule book, and so is this. The only difference between the two, whereas this one deals only with mid-war in terms of points, this one refers to both of them.
Right.
So it says, look, you're playing mid-war, then you'll be looking at a 100-point game. If you're playing late war, it'll be a 1,500-point game. And it also has a trivial change in the deep reserves, which is already in lessons from the front. Right,
so you were taking the opportunity to incorporate some of the lessons from the front stuff in there.
Right. Well, some of it, but not a lot. Essentially, if you look at, let's go, I don't know, page 49. Can you grab that one? So here's page 49, and page 49. Absolutely identical. So the rule books are the same. We've just taken the title off it and made a few minor changes to help you if you're converting over to.
So if I'm playing an army from Grey Wolf, Red Bear, Fortress Italy, for example, Overlord, I'm using this, right?
If you've already gone and written out a converted arsenal for yourself and so forth, then the rules are the same no matter whether you use this, or this, and you could equally use either of those as well. However, you do need that to tell you how to convert the arsenal.
So once again, using the bombardment example, if I've gone here and if I've made myself some homemade unit cards, for example, done all these changes, then I could just use these books if I wanted?
There's no difference. It doesn't matter which of the three books you use.
Presumably, and then if I'm using Armies of Late-War, this is the best book to use? Or
you could use this one without any great problems. You can't easily use this one unless you know to ignore stuff. Because you'll
you'll end up doubling up on the conversion.
So you mean my anti-tank 5 bombardment goes to what, 3, and then from 3 goes down?
You'll double count. So this one goes with the old books. Either of these goes with the new book.
Cool.
But you can still play an army from that against one of the old book armies.
There's
no problem there at all.
In fact, if you take the same army and convert it through here, and the same army there, you'll get exactly the same result.
So the simple version is Armies of Late-War does the hard work for me, and if I use that rulebook or this rulebook, I don't need to worry and I can just play my games. Sounds easy.
That's the plan.
Alrighty. Well, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've learned something new and I hope you've found out something, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks.
See ya.